Are you ready to listen to a podcast?
Here comes the Playhouse Podcast, thanks to Bradshaw and Bryan Law Offices.
Find, subscribe, and listen.
Apparently everyone has a friggin' problem. And they brought their problems to the Playhouse. This is the People's Court. Yes, I said People's is, so we don't get sued.
All right, got a message from Catherine. She's on the phone right now. People are already texting in. We want them to just reserve your opinion until after you hear her out about girl code. Catherine, break it down.
So my best friend has been dating a guy for a little over a year. They met online, and it was hot and heavy in the beginning for a while, and they just broke up actually a few months ago.
Okay.
And I kind of want to date him.
They were together for one whole year. That's a long time.
Yeah.
That's not like just like a dating app meetup or anything like that. So you got to get to know him throughout that time. Did you have these feelings when they were together?
I did. But obviously I never thought more about it because they were together and like good together, but then it started to go bad. They have nothing in common.
Okay.
So it was just a physical thing with them. But like he and I, we're like the same person. And I just got to the point where, like, I asked her. I had to.
Whoa, you even asked her if you could date her ex?
Yes.
Oh my
and
God.
she said it was fine. She said it was totally fine.
But how did she say it? Did she say it, like, with a high voice? You know, I said, I'm okay. Like, did she say it like that?
No, not like that.
Okay.
But you know what? She's the kind of person that I think if it wasn't fine, she wouldn't say it. But all of my other friends, we have a whole group. They're all saying it is not a good idea. Like, she's just saying it's fine, but really she's going to be hurt. And I don't know. I mean, they broke up on terms, right? So it's not a big deal in that respect, but I just don't want to.
You know what? I say go for it. I say date the hell out of this guy.
I feel like there are so many other people out there.
Nah, go for this guy.
Where are those other people?
Well, they're out there. You're just focusing on the one that you couldn't have this entire time.
They're broken up. It's not like I made them break up.
Yeah,
but they just broke up.
This is interesting. All right, so obviously we're not going to agree on it. I feel where you're coming from, though. You think you got something here, and it's the weird time of the year in February and everything like that. So let's toss it out today real quick and see what people think. So the situation, just so I got it perfectly clear, they dated for a year. They broke up. They called it off. Like, it's not one of them are still hanging on. And you got to know this guy enough where you're like, I think I want to date him right now.
Yes.
All right,
and they're on good. I mean, they broke up on good terms.
I really do feel like it's like the time of year that's making you yearn for this. Maybe you just got to make it through Valentine's Day and see if those feelings are still there.
This is so
don't
silly.
Get
Why
with
would you?
him.
No, don't edit yourself. Let's see what everybody else thinks, and all you have to do is basically turn up the radio, and we'll put everybody else's thoughts on next, okay?
Okay.
This is the People's Court. Yes, I said People's is, so we don't get sued.
A lot of people have an opinion. We had Catherine on just a couple of seconds ago. If you'd like to call, she's on hold, so she's going to hear everything you have to say. But bottom line is, her friend dated this dude for like a year. They broke up kind of on like amicable terms. And Catherine's like, I would like to date the hell out of this guy because I think we obviously have something going there. Paige, your first thoughts? Should you ever date your best friend's ex?
Absolutely not. That to me is girl code. So I'm putting myself in her best friend's shoes, and their situation is a little different. So I respect the fact that she even asked her. Like, that's pretty ballsy, I feel.
Yeah.
But I'm putting myself in her best friend's shoes, and if I were her, it would test our friendship. I think, like, if you were really my best friend, you would be able to accept a butt whooping from me if you were to do something like that.
I think it is kind of odd to not just know that there are so many other people out there that you can make a connection with. You just got to work hard at it. You know you have a connection with this guy, but
right. And so, like, I'm happy that they have. Yeah, I'm happy that they have chemistry. And I mean, if it's cool with her best friend, that's like a whole different ordeal, but I personally, out of respect, would not go for it.
Yeah. Is it really cool with that girl? I don't think so. I think she's like, wow.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Right.
Yeah. So.
One of my favorite
yeah.
texts came in from Ania, and she said, I think they should go for it. If they're that good of friends, their friendship will make it through. 100% true happiness doesn't happen very often, so I say go for it.
Yeah, I think it might
and
be.
I feel for her because, like, you can't help your feelings. You know, you can't help who you're into. Sometimes it just happens so quickly, you know. So, but I would have to say absolutely not. Yeah, it's off limits.
Yeah. Sometimes it's out of convenience, too. You know, she's like, okay,
Sure.
I know what you're like inside and out. We've hung out so much. Let's just date.
What if you had, Paige, what if you had...
Yeah, and as...
What if you had
as
4
the best
Trulies?
friend, I would be like, you've been into him this whole time?
Yeah.
Like, I would feel betrayed.
That's what I would feel. I would feel like, okay,
Yeah.
you have been looking at him like a piece of meat the whole time we've been dating. I wouldn't be able to not think like that. So...
Right. So, like, for her to just come out with it, I would have, as the best friend, also thought, like, oh, this has been going on the same time, and you didn't even, like, let me in on it.
Yeah.
Oh, you guys see this text from Liz? She said, Catherine is going to go through this weirdness, and this guy probably doesn't feel the same way. It's a weird way to potentially lose a friend and a mate.
Yeah, you really got to weigh out.
How is it going to feel? Like, how is it going to feel to him when they all get together in their big group of friends and his ex is walking around, you know, say at the club, she's walking around and you're holding hands with her best friend. Awkward.
No doubt.
Or he can just drive by and go, let's see, her, check mark, her, check mark.
We
her.
had Sean, I'll just name him Sean. He used to work on our show, and we had an Easter egg hunt one year, and we had all hands on deck. All these hottie, blonde bombshell girls that worked for us. And he had gotten with 6 of them out of 8 of them, all consensual. Like, they were all pining for him. He was like the cool guy. And none of them knew. Like, how awkward is that?
Oh,
Branch out. I know.
I could feel the
Okay,
awkward
what
from
a
here.
stud, though.
I know.
All right, you know what? Somebody's going to give him this podcast,
I
and
know.
now he's going to go, no more big heads.
I wasn't even mad about it. I was like, okay. good
All
for
right,
you.
Paige. Hey, thanks for chiming in. Always good to hear from you. Hope you have a really good day today, okay? Is it ever, Tabby, okay to date your best friend's ex?
No.
Is it more okay to be a female or to be a male to date your buddy's ex-girlfriend? Or is it more looked down upon if you date your best friend's ex-boyfriend? I feel like there's a double standard.
Yeah, it is definitely a double standard. I feel like women get a lot more of the backlash from it. But in my personal opinion, like, the way that I look at it is obviously it didn't work out with that person for a certain reason. And I get people are different or whatever. But watching somebody go through what they went through with somebody and then just kind of knowing, like, the background history, like, how do you do that and, like, be okay with, like, knowing, like, this person was just with my friend? That's just weird to me.
Yeah.
I don't know. I couldn't do it.
Well, it seems kind of amicable the way that her friend split with this guy, and they just had nothing in common. At the end of the day, it was like that's what it boiled down to, and you can only hope you have everything in common with who you land with.
Hey, Tabby, agree or disagree with Kat when she was saying that there's this weird double standard? I think you have to understand that a lot of guys, it's a conquest and a conquer situation when it's dating. And so to date your best friend's ex is not a big thing for guys, I don't think. I think it's much more feeling-y for girls.
For sure.
Is that right?
Yeah, and honestly, I can say in my personal opinion, one of my long life high school friends dated my first son's dad when we broke up, and I had I didn't care, not even a little bit, because there was nothing there. So I guess I can see where, like, if, you know, it's been a long time, you've been, you know, whatever, like you said, differences, and people have just moved on and been with different people, whatever. I guess I could see it, but to me, it's still, like, me personally, I wouldn't be able to do it.
Yeah.
I think you could. If he was hot enough, you'd do it.
Maybe that's the problem. I don't know.
Is that it? You need the really hot rich guy, and then you'd be willing to change your opinion?
I don't know. I mean, personality is everything. I mean, people are...
You're such a liar.
No, it's true. Like, that's what she's connected to. That's what Catherine said. Like, she and him, like, connected in, like, on every level.
This guy drives a Porsche, you know it.
He does not. I would assume not.
Paparazzi.
Miss Adele decided to retreat from Las Vegas. She's dealing with a lot of drama for postponing her residency shows, which I think she's very excited for. We just got to let the COVID situation work itself
Erring
out.
on the side of safety. I don't think you can really hammer on her for it.
Yeah, but she is at the Brit Awards in London. She won for her album 30, album of the year, by the way, and she dedicated it to two very special people.
Obviously, I thank everyone I work with, like the labels and stuff, but I'd like to dedicate this award to my son and to Simon, to his dad. This album was all of our journey, not just mine. I'm very proud of myself for sticking to my guns and putting out an album that was about something so personal to me. Because not many people do stuff like that anymore.
I hate to laugh, but when British people get
British.
they get that little bubbly in their voice, it sounds so funny to me. It's like a comic book.
I love the spot she's in with her ex, though. I mean, that's a big deal to co-parent with somebody that you respect so much. Kristen Bell, she has the Nextdoor app, and much like you when you got it, she's very giddy about it.
I don't watch my neighbors, but I am like secretly nosy. Like I'm all over the Nextdoor app. I've got to know what's happening. And
What's that?
it is the most dramatic / wonderful / way to find lost dogs app on the internet. It's called Nextdoor. You sign up, your whole community gets to be like, does anyone want these colored pencils? I don't need them anymore. Has anyone seen my dogs? The other day, is this your iguana? There was a iguana
like a new way to
on
be a neighbor.
car. Yeah, it's like nosy neighbors, but you don't need to look out your window. So I'm all over Nextdoor.
Okay.
That once again, speaking of her looking out her window, she is the woman in the house across the street from the girl in the window on Netflix. It is an amazing show. You have to watch it. All right, Robert Pattinson talks about the first time he ever had Valium. And listen, I think he could accredit his acting career to this little pill.
I used to live on my agent's couch at the time in her apartment. And the morning of the Twilight audition, I'm freaking out. I don't want to go to the audition anymore. It's saying, well, find a Valium in my bathroom. I'd never taken a Valium before. I just remember just feeling so glorious in the back of the taxi with the window open and just being like, wow, this is what I've been missing.
There you go. It wasn't for my wisdom teeth. I thought it was, but it was for my eyes. When I got my LASIK eye surgery, they give you a Valium, and you're supposed to take it the morning before you go in.
Really?
Or the
Just
morning
to calm
when you
you
go
down
in.
so you're not blinking and stuff while they're zapping you in the
So
AI.
you're not freaking out. I mean, they're taking out the top layer of your eyeball, peeling it back, lasering, and then sealing it back up. People are going to panic. Blowing out their candles today, Michael B. Jordan is turning 35. Travis Tritt, y'all, from the country world is 59. And Judith Light, Angela, is 73 today.
Sunday, the big day, the big game catch. Y'all hosting? What are you doing? You laying low? You just trying to avoid the rush? What's the plan?
Yeah, no, I think it's just going to be us three with some tidbits, and I like to put like a spread out, and then you just kind of graze around the island, and then we just now that I've helped coach football, now I'm into it. Now I can like understand what they're saying. And I like watching it with them. So.
I think my 14-year-old is going to have a bunch of his buddies over, and we've got like a big projector in our basement, like a 10-foot screen. He's like, we're just going to play down there and play pool and be at the bar. And I'm like, no, not the bar. The liquor cabinet will be closed. But I ran across a couple of stats that I wanted to run past you real quick and see if you are part of the group. Okay. These are surprisingly honest Super Bowl snack survey results. Like 74% of people think it's perfectly acceptable to snort Cheeto dust.
Why?
They just think it's acceptable. If there's Cheeto dust on your fingers, you've never seen people do this? Where they go, and they snort it?
Who are you hanging out with?
You've never seen anyone snort Cheeto dust?
Never. And I have a 9-year-old.
I won't do it, but I would say I'm part of that 74% that say
Look me in my eyes.
It's perfectly acceptable to snort Cheeto dust.
Oh, my God. Okay.
I don't think it's going to hurt you. It's not cocaine. It's just Cheeto dust.
Okay.
6 out of 10 of us hold on to the Pringles can to sneak booze into your kids' soccer games or have done it once or twice.
No.
You've never snuck booze into anywhere in a Pringles can?
No. I don't. I have those collapsible tampons that dub as a flask.
90% of Kat's family, when they were surveyed, avoid Fritos because they remind them of Kat's mom's toenails.
That is not true. But have you ever smelled puppy paws?
Yeah.
They smell similar or the inside of my wedding ring.
As we're talking about. Or remember when Molly worked here, her belly button.
Oh my God.
That
was a smell of death.
She'd stick her finger in her belly button, and then when you weren't looking, she'd rub it under your nose so you could like what they do with for like med students. They put what is it, the green stuff, Vicks Vapor Rub under their nose so they don't smell the decaying bodies. Molly would do that.
Like, looking back, that was really bad. Like, you could get fired for that.
That's
Don't
assault,
do that
brother.
Stuff.
Let's begin now.
All right, let's get after it. And the KCLD Playhouse is all over your radio. Nice morning out.
It was a lovely walk in. It's psycho. When you live in Minnesota and you get out and it's 35, you're like, oh my God, it's so warm.
I found myself sauntering up the sidewalk. Like, I was taking my time, and I'm like, I don't feel like I have to rush because my face is going to fall out. Like, temps in the 30s.
Yeah.
It's good morning.
It was lovely.
What'd you do yesterday? Tell me about your day.
Went to Copper Pony, beautiful store in Stock Rapids, did a little shopping. Went to Chipotle, got Liam some lunch because he had to stay home yesterday. And then we watched Encanto. Where it's like, nobody talks about Bruno. Have you heard that song?
No.
You have not?
Never.
Oh my God, it's like a crazy craze right now. It's like, we don't talk about Bruno. So we were watching that, and then I took a nap, and then we threw the football around, and then I made some grilled chicken drumsticks with some edamame. And that was it.
As a coach, I say this with all complete honesty with you.
Yeah.
Youth hockey sucks if your kid isn't playing. This is now the fifth game in a row that I've went to. And listen, I like all the families that my son got dinged up, actually cheap-shotted by some goon in Little Falls about a week and a half ago.
Yeah.
And his shoulder's all jacked up. And we're trying to get him in for an MRI because clearly something's wrong. And I don't think he'll play the rest of the year. But as parents, we're saying you're on the team. You'll go to the practices, you'll sit and watch.
Yeah.
You'll go to the games. You'll put a helmet on, you'll stand on the sideline, you'll support your team, and you'll help any way you can.
I totally agree with that.
But what happens is when you're a hockey parent, your kid, if they're playing offense, they're out there every 3 shifts. If they're playing defense, they're out there every other shift. So my son has done both all day. Like, he's played every position this year. So it's fun, and you want to watch your child. And it's not that I don't care about the other kids, but I don't care about the other kids.
You know what? I want to flash back to last week when you were like a hero, and you're like, yeah, we're going to go to every game. We're going to support because we really love these hockey families.
That's for him. Listen, that's for him. That's for him to learn the lesson of you're part of the team.
Yes,
you'll do what the team does.
You and Trisha, you're like, yeah, that's our weekend. We're going to be following this team around. I'm like, why would you do that? You're like, why wouldn't you? Almost shaming me that I wouldn't do that. No, this is my kid. He needs to support.
Tiresome watching other people's kids.
Yes.
I get that if maybe you're like a grandparent and you want to watch your grandkids or something, but you're not going to just watch other people's kids. It's just... So we're playing Elk River till like 9:30 last night, and then I get home, and then they get here this morning, and our engineer literally is in Antarctica, and everything in the studio is jacked up. So they give us all these people we're supposed to call. Nobody will answer their phone. I've called 4 or 5 people deep, including our CEO.
Who's in, where is he?
I don't know. I just get it. Literally,
He's in Amsterdam or
literally nobody can help with the problems we have this morning in our engineering world. If you are, by the way, a broadcast engineer, I would gladly hire out your services right now if you want to call us, and we'll pay you tremendous amounts of money if you can just help me. But
they need a certain password.
Well, here's the deal. Right. This all used to be when my other job was my other job here.
Yeah.
I had all the passwords. They gave me everything you need to fix anything.
What happened? Maybe
I quit that job, and then they go, well, you're probably going to wreck everything from the inside. No, I just don't want that responsibility anymore. So it's locked up like Fort Knox around here. It's worse than a jewelry store.
I want to say hi to Natasha, and I'll do it again. You ready? Oh, we don't talk about Bruno. Her kid perked up when I sang that. I cannot believe you don't know it.
I have no idea.
Every kid that is in 4th grade sings it under their breath all day, every day. Oh, we don't talk about Bruno. No.
Super Tabby. Hi, Super Tabby.
Hi.
How's it going?
Sounds good.
If you had one superhero or one superpower, Tabby, what would it be?
Oh, that's a tough one. Probably to heal, so that way I wouldn't have to watch people suffer anymore.
Oh my God, that is sweet.
I was thinking X-ray vision so I could see everybody naked.
I was going to read minds.
All right. Tabby's the good one here. So here's what's going to happen. First off, we need to know about the superhero, the little junior superhero in your life. What's his name?
Zayden
and Tabby, we're lining you up with tickets for the Mother-Son Superhero Party, which is next Saturday. If you can identify which, I can't describe this best because I'm not familiar with this superhero.
This superhero is one of three. So they meet up in the middle of the night, and you really won't have to guess who it is.
Okay, listen close, Tabby.
I've got another idea. And with all these Catboys, it can't fail.
So who is it?
PJ Masks.
PJ Masks is what we're looking for.
PJ Masks, Papa. PJ Masks. You hear that song in the middle of the night, dead asleep. You hear that song in your head, right?
He actually loves that show, so that's how I knew it.
Okay, this is going to be great time. So you guys dress up, have a lot of fun at the Mother-Son Superhero Party next Saturday at the Sartell Community Center. It's all brought to you by LJ Plumbing and Heating. And when you guys are there, make sure to check out the Superhero Training Facility with KCLD, and you can walk away with some mad prizes as well. So congratulations. You guys are our guests, and you're going absolutely free. Trending today is this YouTuber who is dressed up in this video as Willy Wonka, but dude is really giving away a chocolate factory. Oh, Violet Beauregard. Now, let's imagine that I had a factory to give away, and I was going to give it away and not keep it for myself. You could make that factory produce anything, and you could win it. What would your factory be, Kat?
Face masks.
Okay.
I'll forever look young. Every type of face mask, aloe, vitamin C, collagen. I have under eye patches, whatever I have to stay looking young.
Okay. So if we were to be giving away any kind of factory and you could win it, you would want a face mask factory.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would.
I was thinking about this. At first I was thinking Jameson. No, I went back on that. I think I would want a beef jerky factory.
You'd be really swollen, man.
And I'm okay with that.
Who's ever okay with that?
I just don't mind. I don't mind carrying around a little extra water weight.
Oh, my God.
So if we were to give away a factory, but you could pick which kind of factory it would be, what would it be? Let us know. Text us at 251-1047 because the dude is really giving away a chocolate factory, and that's what's trending today.
The KCLD Playhouse is powered up by Bradshaw and Bryant Law Offices, seeking justice for the injured.
Right away, Paige, I would have a factory with college notebook repair, so all students could get their computers fixed. What? Natasha says toys, so my kid can stop showing me the stuff he wants. He can just go get it.
Okay.
I like that. You guys are dialed in.
Radio Paparazzi.
Mary J. Blige, part of the pack that will be entertaining us for the big game halftime show, and she's calling it a big celebration of what?
Just know that it's some history, man. It's a celebration of how far, hip hop has come, how far R&B has come, how far music in our culture.
Oh, I wish hip hop and R&B was like it was back then. I mean, there was just like you had the feels when you listened to it. I think you got to
understand that it's an evolutionary process. It's never going to stay. That music will never stay the same for very long. If you look back from even the Beatles or Louis Armstrong or whatever, it is constantly evolving. And what you loved back then isn't necessarily what people who are 20 love right now. And it's just, that's the beauty of it, is you can get locked into yours and it creates those memories. And if it sounded like that all the time, it wouldn't be special.
That's very true. But I'll enjoy it this Sunday for sure. All right. So Kanye West posted a video on his Instagram. It's about Black Future and the movement that he wants to start. It's more so like getting rid of Black History Month because he says, why be limited to a month, which I completely agree. But he, instead of talking about the goals for his Black Future movement, he talks about his custody.
Been about 4 or 5 days since I see my kids. But we in America, ain't we? That's just how it is.
I don't care if you're rhyming. Stop talking about your kids and your business because I see on TMZ the past 4 or 5 days, you out with Julia Fox, who you barely know, when you bought a home right across the street from your soon-to-be ex-wife, and you could easily put forth the effort, stand at the end of the driveway. I know that for a fact, my husband, if we got divorced, would never go one day without catching a glimpse of my child or reaching out or being there. You don't have to be partying every single night. You know who is standing up for Kim? Totally out of the woods is Azalea Banks, the rapper. And she and Kanye used to be tight. And now she's like, listen, stop trying to help him. He's not trying to help himself. He's an abusive psychopath and beyond mental illness is what she said. So I don't know. Justin Bieber, he is talking about he and his wife, Haley, they have cute pet names for each other.
Well, she calls me a bunch of weird things. She calls me Goo Goo, which is kind of weird, but I like it.
I like Goo Goo.
Goo Goo, my little Goo Goo. It's weird, but I like it.
Do you call her Goo Goo as well?
I do. She's got me wrapped around her finger pretty much.
Excuse me while I throw up.
You can be okay?
Jesus.
Why? Because they're adorable?
This is
and that makes you throw up?
Tough to listen to.
Blowing up their candles today, we have Michael B. Jordan turning 35. Judith Light is 73 and Mia Farrow is 77.
How's Tracy today?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Good. On the tip of people selling negative COVID tests so that you can get back into the U.S., you wanted to say...
I had to buy one. I was forced to buy one. We all in our group tested negative, and I never checked everything, from the results. So we go to the airport. They flagged me at baggage. I didn't know why. They flagged me through security. I didn't know why. And then we're about to get on the plane, and they said this was the end of March. Everyone had the March 27th negative test, and mine was dated for April 1st, which hadn't even happened yet, and they wouldn't let me on the plane. And so our group already decided if anyone was positive, they were staying behind by themselves. We joked about it.
Savage.
So they all got on they're all getting in, and I'm standing there. And it took about 25 minutes. And then the person checking me in, she's like, do you have WhatsApp? I'm like, yeah. She goes, all right, for $25, I will send you a negative test through WhatsApp. So she did, and I got on the plane.
Oh my gosh.
That's so shady.
So why wouldn't they look at it as April 1st hasn't even happened yet? This is human error. We're just going to trust that you tested negative and get you on the
They got to have hard rules. That's the problem, that you have to have hard limits to this. Otherwise, everybody's got an excuse and a story. And I'm sure you were fine and everything like that. But if that person wouldn't have talked to you, you'd have had to stay another 5 days, 10 days?
Yeah, it was 10 at that time, but in the back of my mind, I was thinking 10 days by myself without my husband or children, winning. I mean, I would have been fine with that.
Oh my God, I was Facebook messaging with my friend Rachel that was stuck there, and I was like, "What are you doing?" She's like, "Taking bubble baths every day and watching Netflix."
Oh my God!
I was like, "Well,
amazing.
what can you do when you're locked in your room?" But why did you call her savage or all of her friends savage? Derek and I had that conversation. I go, "I'm staying." Or you're saying, one of us is leaving. You got to get back for your kid and life.
That's what we said too. Yeah. Right.
You would stay with Trisha, or Trisha would stay with you?
Yeah, well, here's the deal. I think we have a big enough friend group, and Trisha's parents are only 90 minutes away.
That's so selfish of you.
And I have the one in college takes care of himself. The one that's a senior in high school, she takes care of herself. The one that is that we would even care about, he's dinged up, so he's not doing anything. He's just got to get to school. He could probably shack up with a neighbor or something like that.
This is so funny, because if I called or texted Trisha right now, she would leave your ass there.
Probably.
And go home.
And look at everyone in the studio right now raising their hands who would be disappointed by that.
Yeah.
I'm the same with you, Tracy. If they said you have to stay behind for another 7 days, okay. And the problem with this is?
Right.
Go out and have some cafe on your balcony and you watch the waves come in.
Just wait. Let me understand that this all-inclusive resort would like me to stay for another 7 days without anybody else in my ear?
You can get drunk 3 times in one day.
But they do say that alcohol sways a COVID test. Did you know that?
How so?
They say that it
which way
can help, the negative or the positive way. You can test positive if you have too much alcohol in your system.
Really?
So what I hear you saying is JJ is not going to drink at all the day you take the test. Therefore, he gets to stay another few days because he'll test positive.
I think Kat said the more you drink, the better your chance of testing positive.
Yeah. So I think you should Google that because I've heard that from more than one source.
Oh, well, Google is always really accurate when it comes to all the COVID stuff. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to call my friend Joe Rogan and ask him what he thinks about this.
I'm going to make sure that I go super hard for the first 48 hours. I'm going to go super hard, and then I'm probably going to lighten up. And I'm not going to share a hookah. That's for sure.
Hey, Tracy, you still got the contact info for the person with the negative test for $25?
Stop that.
I do, and I still have my WhatsApp, and all I did was use my other one and change the date, so I could do that now. I could change the date.
All right.
And that, because it's printable, so I'll send it your way.
If in the next 15 to 20 minutes all you hear is silence on this frequency, understand that the government got to us because of this conversation.
We are in no way encouraging.
I mean, darn it.
Yeah.
Now, give me the number one thing you're looking forward to when we land and we get everything popping, Kat.
Oh, my God. So let me just walk you through it. You go through customs at the airport there, and then you're greeted by an alcohol kiosk, and you can get your mojito, you can get your pina colada, your Corona, and then you grab a couple for the bus ride, which is only about 25 minutes. And then when we arrive, we're greeted like kings and queens. They bring us drinks, and then you get checked in, and then we go to the buffet. And then we go to the beach, and then all your stuff is brought to your rooms, and then you just relax for the rest of the day. I think it's like that first hit of heat is what I love.
When you get off the plane, the airport is out in the open air, and you just suck in the humidity into your lungs, and you're like, yes.
But then you run to the bathroom, and you have your shorts in your backpack, your carry-on. You have your shorts and your
t-shirt. I just usually wear shorts in.
I know, but girls don't. So we change, and then we get all ready, and we get our baggage. And it goes the same way every single year because we have Gretchen kind of leading the way. And it's a no-brainer.
It's good to have a travel mom.
It is. Yeah, we're like her ducklings.
Hey, Randy, how's it going, man?
It's going great, and you?
Good. I appreciate you joining the show. I was offered by a listener, actually reached out, and knowing that we're going to Mexico, offered to sell me a negative COVID test to make sure that I got out of the country in case I caught it. And I immediately looked at my wife and I said, this is bananas. I cannot believe this is the world we're living in right now. But as soon as I mentioned it to Kat, she kind of did the thumb and forefinger on her chin and looked up as she pondered buying this.
I can see the appeal for people that want to get back to the U.S. Don't you, Randy?
Yes.
Would you ever consider buying a negative COVID test so that you could get back into the U.S.?
I would. Yeah.
Okay.
I see
because I was.
Go ahead.
Was that?
Go ahead.
I was tricked into marrying my wife because she gave me a false pregnancy test. I feel it's the same thing.
No.
Wow.
It truly is not the same thing, but
I'm stuck for life.
Just so I understand this correctly, she produced a false pregnancy test, so you married her. How long ago was this?
8 years.
So how are you stuck for the rest of your life, Randy? Just get a divorce. If there's no child involved, that's not yours.
Nah, she's an okay woman.
Okay.
So are you still with her?
Yes.
Okay. This is the most...
People are texting about you right now, Randy.
So, again, just so I have complete transparency, 8 years ago, a woman lied to you and said, I'm pregnant. Here's a faked up pregnancy positive test. You have a child on the way. You later find out that that wasn't your child, and she lied to you to get you to marry her, and yet you're still married to her.
No, she gave me a fake test. She was not pregnant, so I'm like, why wrap my tool if the damage is already done?
All right.
Okay.
So
then you get her pregnant for real.
With her.
Okay, so she
There
just
you
tricked
go.
you into the marriage, and then you ended up sticking it out with her. All right. Very unique story. And I don't know if it runs parallel on the I'm going to use a fake COVID test to get back into the States.
Not at all. A real roundabout there,
Quite
Randy.
entertaining this morning. Thank you, sir.
All right, later.
Ye Olde Fighting Cocks. This is a pub located just north of London, and it's set to close its doors. You're like, whatever. Pandemic, bars are closing everywhere. This is after 1,228 years in business.
There has been people that have set up a crowdfunding site with local people. I've already told them I can't take the money. For them, to do what I would like to do with the pub and what I was going to plan on doing over the next 25 years, to me, it was worth acting like a philanthropist and spending the next 25 years creating this pub so it can remain for the next 1,000 years.
That's Christo, the owner and operator, and he just said COVID was kind of the last straw.
That pub has been open since 800 AD.
Now, the structure is like a Tudor-style home, but, I mean, how has it stayed up? How? That is some craftsmanship if you think about it.
There's a different way of drinking in the UK than there is here.
Mm-hmm.
Like here, people get blackout drunk and be stupid.
They've been drinking since they were like 8 years old, have a wine with your shepherd's pie, and they know how to handle it. They're not like dumb Americans where they just drink until they're blacked out. Like, why do you do that? But where is that watering hole that if it closed, like this place, people are very, very sad about it because this is like their place. So if a certain spot closed, you would be upset.
Okay, what are you going with?
I'm going to go with, God, it's a toss-up. So I love the people watching at Benton Station. I really do. It's my favorite, especially karaoke night.
What's up to Starvin' Marvin?
It's my favorite. Yep, and we love Marvin. Or Knitsky's in Palmer, which is not a hole in the wall. It's actually a very nice bar, but it's very hometown. There are always like the same people there.
Yeah.
You know, if you drive past their house and their lights are out, you know that they're probably at Knitsky's. So I'm going to say those two.
I hadn't been there in a while, and I forgot how much I love the atmosphere, but I'm going to go with the Ultimate. Now that Tommy rebuilt it, I mean, I thought it was cool before, but I really like the vibe there, especially on a Friday night in the fall or the spring with the outdoor ambiance and the heaters and stuff like that. I'm just a big fan. It's just, you know what's unfortunate is the parking situation. Sometimes you have to park, like down by the river.
I mean, unfortunate for you, good for them.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's like overflow, but they did a great job rebuilding. And you know what I think gives it that hometown feel is that he's always working the floor.
Yeah.
He's always like, shaking babies and kissing hands. And he's just always out on the floor. Did I get that?
So we just wanted to know, and let's keep this ultra local. So will you text us or call us with the pub or the saloon would be heartbreaking if they shut their doors. All right. Now, granted, you might be listening from a long ways away, so we're going to need to know what city you're in. But I want to know what would be a heartbreaking pub or bar to see close. This one's closing after 1,200 years of being open.
Nuts. What is your favorite watering hole? And if it closed, you would be so sad. We're talking about this bar that is closing after 1,200 years.
That's so crazy. It was open in the 800s.
Yeah. 1,228 years it's been open, and this pub, due to COVID is what took it down.
Not the plague.
No.
Not diphtheria.
Wars, nothing. And so they're just going to sell it and do away with it. And hopefully somebody buys it and continues on with this, because
I think it would be difficult to run a modern day pub out of something like that. The plumbing's got to be shot. There's got to be no heating and air conditioning or anything like that.
I'm sure they did indoor repairs.
I would think this would be built into a wall somewhere with like 4 stones to sit on, and somebody just brings a barrel in and they tap it and they pour out beer out of a keg. You know what I mean? Like that should be the world's oldest saloon.
So I said Benton Station around 10 o'clock at night on like a Friday or Saturday, whenever they're doing karaoke.
Interesting folk.
It is the best. It's the best. And then I would say Knitsky's bar in Palmer, which is really like, it's just like Cheers. It's fun. It's super warm and inviting. I like it. Cody says Backshed Brewery, which I have yet to go to.
Oh, it's cool. Trish and I went on Saturday, and we had to go to Home Depot, and we were like on the way back, and she's like, "You want to stop for a beer?" I'm like, "Yeah, for sure. I like that place a lot." And what wigged me out a little bit, and I didn't realize it, like they got all these cool bar games to play, like, at the table and stuff like that. But then I was like, what's missing? It took me about 5 minutes as we were just kind of sitting there talking. I was looking around. I go, there are no TVs in here.
Really?
Yeah.
I wonder why. Do they want you to talk to each other?
They want you to actually talk to the person that you're there with. But they got all these really, really cool different kind of beers. I think you'd like it because it's not a whole ton of like IPAs and stouts and stuff like that. They got some kind of fruity beers and stuff like that.
Do you notice TVs in other
Yeah, my eyes always gravitate towards it. Like I said, I like the Ultimate a lot because there's 100 TVs and they all have different sports on them.
That's like a bar, but I feel like a brewery, they don't have TVs. Like Beaver Island does not. Pantown, I don't believe
Pantown does, but they have their menus on them.
Yeah,
like stuff like that. But yeah, I guess I don't think about it in tap rooms too much. But I just noticed it. We're sitting there right in the middle.
Yeah,
and there was a few other people, and we're just kind of having a conversation. I go, "There's no freaking TVs here."
Oh, Ali says Trobex. Trobex is one of my small town bar stops. O'Brien's and Rice was texted in as well. So if something were to close, like a bar, your local watering hole, you'd be so upset about it. Today.
Do you like pizza?
I love pizza. It's pizza time. Let's go.
Let's go celebrate National Pizza Day. It's always nice to celebrate because it's one less thing to think about today, to go somewhere and pick up a pizza pie. But they say most popular topping is pepperoni, followed by sausage, followed by mushrooms.
Yeah. My wife's a mushroom junkie. She loves that stuff.
So is Derek. He loves the mushrooms. But I feel like on pizza, they're a little bit too mushy for me. I like sauteed. But if you head to my Cat KCLD page, we have deals all around town, including Chuck E. Cheese, Domino's, Little Caesars, Papa John's, Pizza Hut, Sbarro, Toppers. And then coming up at 8 o'clock, you could win a free pizza to House of Pizza if you want to with birthdays with paparazzi. All right, so finding out that Marvin Gaye has quite an impact on monkeys. There is a monkey forest in England. They have hired a Marvin Gaye impersonator to sing this and to encourage primates to do it. Can you imagine having that? Like that, you should get an award
That's
for
your job. I'm going to go sing love songs to monkeys so they mate
and repopulate and build whatever.
Do you remember
branch of monkey they are?
The San Diego Zoo that had that panda that they had to show? They had to make fake panda adult movies.
Yeah.
With videos of pandas mating to try and get the male in the mood so that he would mate with the female. And they were down to like one of each of these species. And it worked.
Maybe they don't want to do it. Maybe they don't feel like it. Maybe they had an ostomy bag for a while and they just feel really, really concerned about what people are looking at and
asking for a friend. We were talking about this guy. They call him Mattress Mac, and he's basically an entrepreneur in Texas, and he has now placed the biggest bet ever on the Super Bowl. But he couldn't do it at home because Texas doesn't have this kind of legal sports gambling, which I think is probably going to be nationwide here within the next year or two. But he had to drive or fly. I'm not sure how he got there, but he had to go to Louisiana to place his bet.
Yeah.
And so I was thinking, all right, what else have you ever had to cross state lines for?
I wouldn't say illegal, but my mom brought us to go get two of our Scottish Terriers because they were quite expensive.
But you could have bought them here if they were for sale here, right?
I guess so. But we had to drive into the middle of Wisconsin to this farm, and you had to wait at this gate that had cameras on your car. Jeez. So they were probably making a lot of money.
Like getting into Iron Man's house.
I guess.
A lot of people. This is surprising. A lot of people say they leave Minnesota to get Everclear.
Everclear? Can't you make that in your basement?
I don't know if that's a good idea. Eric, what'd you have to cross state lines for?
When I was in college in Duluth, we used to run to Superior, Wisconsin to get beer before the liquor stores in Minnesota were open on Sunday.
Yeah, so and at night, too. I worked in Duluth for a lot of years, and I remember because Wisconsin, they were always open 7 days a week at the liquor stores. But Minnesota at one point was... I think bar close was either 11 or midnight. Mm-hmm. And after that, there would be this steady line of cars going across the Bong or the Blatnick Bridge to go drink in Superior because they were always open till 2 a.m.
That is quite a risk. I would have to make sure you're either in a cab, an Uber, a Lyft, because they're waiting for you.
Yeah, and it was a lot of these UMD kids that would do this kind of stuff. So the big question is, what have you crossed state lines for? Because they didn't have it where you were living. Haley, what are we going to get?
Well, for pot, for weed.
Okay.
And it's not. Yeah, it's not that much. I mean, we get a couple pounds. We drive once a month, and we.
Did I just hear you say you drive once a month to Denver, Colorado to get pot?
Pounds?
Yeah, is that a lot? Is that a lot?
Yeah. So you blow through it in a month, and then you hop in your car and you head out and you go get some more. Are you a dealer? Are you calling a radio station as a dealer?
No.
Oh, okay.
I mean, we smoke pot. We smoke. My boyfriend needs it like for medical reasons, and I just like it.
Yeah.
And we do it like it's our monthly journey, and we make a whole thing of it, and we go out to dinner and just get a couple pounds, and then come back. It's totally worth it.
Welcome into the KCLD Playhouse's Lonely Hearts Club, where if you're flying solo this Valentine's Day, we can make it so good for you, like a giant gift card full of the best Mexican around from Anejos and Sartell. Plus, let's get you hooked up. How about a new look? Something that's going to make you feel amazing thanks to our friends at Concrete Image. Today, to win our Lonely Hearts Club Valentine's Day package, you just got to give us one really good reason that you are super dateable. Even though you're solo, you're super dateable. How's Carly doing today?
I'm doing great. How are you guys?
Good. How long you been on the solo trip here?
I've been divorced for 8 months, and on Valentine's Day, it'll be single for a year.
All right. So
has he moved on?
Whoa.
Is this Kat?
Yeah.
Kat, you know Carly.
Oh, my God. What?
This is Carly. You watch me on Facebook.
Oh, Carly. Okay. Yeah, you had a red velvet shirt on in your snaps the other day.
Yep, I did.
All right. Well, now that you guys
see
haven't...
how I pay attention to all of my followers on social media? Like, I really do lock it in.
You really do.
Okay. All right,
yes,
Carly.
You do.
So what makes you so dateable, Carly?
I mean, I'm not a cheater. I cater to my man. I mean, there's so many things that make me dateable.
You're a very good mom. You are an entrepreneur. You could include those two things, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Thank you, Kat.
You're welcome.
How many kiddos, Carly?
I have 2. I have one that lives with me. He's 5.
And if you were to, let's just say you're out by yourself eating delicious dinner at Anejos, and somebody walks up to you, what is just based purely on looks, what's the number one thing you're looking for in the next man in Carly's life?
In looks?
Yeah. Like he's got to have a beard, or you like glasses, or he has to be fit, or what's one thing that is like a must-have as you approach your next relationship?
Just cleanliness and looking put together. I like a put together man.
And that's so sad that you have to take a shower. Like, what the hell is happening? All right.
Oh, no.
All right. Well, hey, Carly, our pleasure to hook you up then and get you all done up, courtesy of our friends at Concrete Image. Plus, your belly and your little guy's belly full of nummy numbness, courtesy of our friends at Anejos and Sartell, the Lonely Hearts Club Valentine's Day edition, where Carly will officially be single for a year come Valentine's Day. So hang in there, and we're really, really happy that you could join the show and happy we could hook you up with our Lonely Hearts Club. Congrats, Carly!
Thank you.
You're welcome. Hang on.
So weird.
Weird stuff.
Everybody called me weird. I am weird.
You don't think this is a little weird? No, I don't think it's weird at all.
Weird news.
Science is crazy. This woman found out that her 13-year-old brother, who is more than 5 years younger than her, is actually her twin.
We are both from IVF. Basically, we were both conceived in a dish, long story short, and then I was put back in my mum, and then my brother was put in the freezer for 5 years. So there was 5 years between us. So yeah, I'm 19, he's 13, nearly 14.
This took me a hot minute to wrap my mind around this morning.
What is the show that I watched where the airplane... Oh, Manifest. Isn't that like Manifest?
I don't know.
Where she ages and he doesn't because he comes back on the airplane. And so therefore they're like 5 years.
Let me get this right. They have a couple of Petri dishes.
Yep.
The one stays warm and gets inserted into the mom. The other one goes into the freezer for 5 years, then gets inserted into the mom. And they're technically twins.
Yes.
But they're 5 years apart. This is the mad scientist world we're living in right now.
Isn't that crazy? If somebody didn't laugh like this at one point,
what if
they really missed an opportunity?
What if he would have been frozen and implanted in someone else, like sold across seas, and somehow they were vacationing in Mazatlan, and they hooked up?
Yes. What a scenario.
They would have been twins. that didn't know that they were twins.
What if she went in the freezer and ate him? And that is what's weird.
Anybody else hungry for a dreamsicle?
You know, twins have eaten their.
It's such. They don't eat them.
Yes,
they absorb them.
Have.
They don't eat them with their mouth. They don't chew them and swallow their twin fetus.
That's why multiples are creepy. Because they can eat each other.
It's another reason
I've seen it.
The Playhouse Podcast is made possible thanks to Bradshaw and Bryan Law Offices. Catch the live show weekdays from 5:30 to 9 on 104.7 KCLD. Now, share this with a friend.